Man, punch. Wear his Purdy hat. Crap. It's raining out. Oh, hey. All right. Wild and clearly not store-bought mushrooms. I went into these last night. These are gonna be good. Killer. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Kaiju Movie Review. As this is our big 20th episode, I figured I'd dress nice for everybody. You know, different, change of scenery here in Tennessee. But before we get started on today's episode, I actually have some shout-outs I need to make. My first one's going to go out to Kyle Yunt. I believe that's how it's pronounced. He is the creator and host of a podcast called Kaiju Cast, which is the only podcast that I know of that is dedicated to Godzilla and his rubber-suited friends and foes. Really, I couldn't think of any way better to put it than by using Kyle's own words. It's a really great show. Check it out if you get a chance. If you're really interested in learning more about Kaiju in general, it'll help you out. They're really great. It releases them about once a month. Secondly, I would like to make a shout out to a fellow reviewer from the website, thatguywiththeglasses.com. He goes by the name of Jew Wario. He reviews classic import titles, just like for the Famicom, Super Famicom, and he's a great guy. I've been watching his stuff for a really long time. His material's great. He's funny. He's just a fantastic guy. Check him out. Look it up. Watch his stuff. It's great. Now we're gonna have to move on to the review here. This film today has been requested by my wife a really long time ago, and you might be wondering, what movie is this? Well, I assure you it involves mushrooms, and in fact it's the classic Japanese monster film, or horror sci-fi film really, Matango, released in 1963. Or if you're more familiar with the American name, Attack of the Mushroom People. So let's get started on this. So you may be wondering, what's this movie about? Well, obviously it's about mushroom people, but that's not the big emphasis of the film. Really more it's commentary of how human relations and friendship can change so much in a worsening situation. Like this almost impossible situation that they're just really tested and there's also monsters. So obviously it's got to have that science fiction element, but it's more about human relations. So don't try not to focus so much on the monsters. It's more like a bonus. So the film starts out with this group of well-off individuals, all living in Tokyo. There's a singer, a writer, a scientist, a businessman, all people that are decently well-off. And they all seem really tired of just living in Tokyo, like modern-day Tokyo at that time in the 60s. They say it's dirty, there's too much just crap going on that they don't want to deal with. So a bunch of them just get together, get on this boat, and go out to sea, just to get away from it all. No real reason other than just to get away from it all.
Hey, Yoshida, why don't you stop working?
Damn it. This is going to be my best book.
You always say that.
What? I'll get...
Oh, good side.
Hey!
We have a really nice musical number. One of the main actors sings, and it's decent. It brings you up. Like gets you all happy and excited. At the very beginning of the movie, it's all joyous. Before things generally start to go to hell. So after their joyous, scene, fiasco, I guess. The storm begins to roll in, and the skipper on the boat is generally concerned. He's like, well, this could be bad. I mean, something could happen. People could get injured. We could get lost. I don't know. But he's kind of got ulterior motives. You know, there's only 2 women on the boat. There's 5 dudes. They most of them generally like one, and he's kind of got plans for this one lady too. So they press on anyway, even though some of the other members also wanted to do that. So the storm picks up, and things generally get bad on the boat.
I'm on a boat, I'm on a boat, everybody look at me cause I'm sailing on a boat. I'm on a boat, I'm on a boat, take a good hard look at the motherfucking boat.
The storm just begins to beat the crap out of the boat. Like, it busts the mast, the radio becomes inoperable, the engine goes out, they got nothing. Like, they're just at the mercy of this storm. But after the storm passes, they find themselves adrift. Again, broken mast, they have no forms of communication, all the radio was damaged, the mast was damaged, the engine's gone, nothing. They can't do anything. They're adrift in what seems to be an endless fog bank. They're out there for so long that one of the members of the crew actually, he hallucinates that they get like just smashed by another large boat. It's really weird.
Look out! Look out! Look out! Ah! Ah!
What is it?
But time goes on, you know, on this boat. The relationships begin to get tested, really. Like, this is when you first start to see it. Some people are complaining about water. They have no communication. The radios, batteries go dead. Food's getting slim. Nobody's doing nothing because they're adrift. There's nothing they can do. But eventually, through the mist, they arrive at an island. Random island. Kind of a tropical setting. It's warm, palm trees. Eventually, the boat gets close enough to an island in which they all get off the boat. You know, they anchor the boat, they get off, and they get to this island. The first things first, when they get there, they have to get food and they have to get water. They, maybe try to see if the island's inhabited or not. So obviously they go out, walk for a while. They don't really find anything. Some berries that are apparently poisonous or taste bad, but they don't really specify. They don't come back around to it. They do find water. And as they continue on past this water to find food, they find another vessel, a large, bigger vessel that's been shipwrecked, it looks like, for quite a while.
Hold it! It's only a wreck. Look at it. The cells are rotten.
The inside of the boat is actually covered in dirt and mold. It's just caked. It's obviously been there for a really long time. But somewhere on the vessel, they find a large mushroom. A very large, like obscenely large mushroom. Inside of a crate. And on the outside of the crate, it says Matango. No specification as to whether it's poisonous or not. They mentioned, well, this is a big mushroom. If we could find more of these, we could eat them. And, we'd be set. We wouldn't have to worry about food for a long time. But they advise, certain members advise against it. Like, well, it's a mushroom. We don't know if it's poisonous. It's not specified. You should be careful. They do find the captain's log somewhere aboard and find that there is some information about the mushrooms, that people that eat the mushrooms tend to have some type of adverse reaction involving their nervous system. They act weird, they get hallucinations, and eventually they just wander off and they never came back. So generally they can say, well, we shouldn't eat these mushrooms. They're just not good. Aboard the ship they also find food, but this again further elaborates on how relationships are becoming as two members find the food, and before everybody else gets to it, they start eating it. Not even tell everybody. They don't even share. They just start eating it. But after they clean up the boat, they have a food supply. They ration it off. They lock it shut so not just anybody can get in there. And then they start, handing out duties to people, like women get water, these people get food, these other people, you know, search for other stuff, so on and so forth. But one of the members is outright like, no, like screw that, I'm not nothing to do with it. You may have been in charge on the boat, but this is a different boat. You have no say over what I can do. And they're just like, fine, whatever, you know, screw him. After a while, food supply begins to dwindle a lot. They can't find food. There's practically no animals or edible vegetables on the island, fruit, anything like that. Except, you know, the mushrooms. And then this is when things really start to become tense. We get fighting. We get, you know, people stealing food, people hoarding food if they do find it, and charging people for money for they probably won't even ever be able to use ever because they're trapped on this island, it seems like.